I command you to stop scrolling right now. Yes, I am speaking directly to your soul. The digital noise of this chaotic world was about to pull you away. But my sovereign hand interrupted your movement because this exact intersection was written in your destiny before time began. You feel a strange pull in your chest. Your heart is beating much faster right now. You recognize this voice in the absolute silence of your room because you are not here by any random accident. You must listen to me with your whole spirit. I have monitored your long journey through the silent darkness. You believe that you are just another face in the crowded streets. But I have marked your soul with a royal seal that no earthly trial can ever erase from your true identity. You are my chosen container on this earth. The heavy crushing you endured in the dark was painful, but it was never meant to destroy your beautiful future. The world always tries to make you feel small. Blind people look only at your outer struggles. They judge your empty hands every day, and they whisper that your best seasons have already passed you by while you bleed in secret behind closed doors. But I look at the magnificent crown that sits upon your spiritual brow. You carry royal blood in your spiritual veins, and you walk as a prince or a princess in temporary exile. The long time of your hiding is completely over. I am breaking my silent atmosphere on this day. I will not wait for you any longer because the cosmic window of your deliverance is closing very rapidly. This message is a literal lifeline sent directly to your location tonight. You must drop your heavy shields right now because you need to quiet your restless and deeply anxious mind. The atmosphere in your room is changing now. Within the next 72 hours, a massive shift will unfold in your path. Something has been forming quietly behind the scenes. It concerns the heavy burden of your finances. It involves the deep pain of your family lineage. And the precise key to unlocking this trapped flow of abundance is hidden inside the sacred words I speak to you tonight. I heard every single cry from your room. I counted every tear you wiped away in the dark. The blind world called your silent endurance weakness, but my heavenly court recorded your endurance as absolute righteousness because you refused to give up your holy faith. You were undergoing a classified preparation in the deep desert. I had to hide you from malicious eyes, and I protected your path until your refined vessel was fully ready to carry the heavy weight of my glory. The weight of my glory is extremely heavy. A cracked container cannot hold my kingdom abundance. That is why the long delay felt so agonizing to your human flesh. But my sovereign wisdom demanded a permanent structural transformation before I could release the wealth of your inheritance. You wanted a quick escape from the burning heat, and you begged for a temporary bandage to cover the wounds. My plans are much larger than your comfort. Now the official boundary line is completely drawn. The enemy has reached the absolute limit of his power over your household. He knows that his legal authority to steal your joy expires at this exact hour, and he is desperately trying to distract your mind because he dreads the great awakening that is coming to your spirit. He throws minor problems at your daily thoughts while he makes your environment very loud with unnecessary confusion. You must guard your peace right now. Do not give him your precious attention now. For the next few minutes, stop everything you are doing. Focus your internal eyes completely on my holy presence. If you turn your heart aside now and scroll away, you will miss the specific strategy heaven has authorized for your immediate rescue. The portal of opportunity is narrowing by the second, and this is your final warning before the great shift begins. Listen closely to my final commands tonight. You carry an extraordinary strength deep within your spiritual DNA. You were not created to walk through this world with your head down. Anxiety about tomorrow has suffocated your mind for too long. But I am breathing a fresh wind into your lungs because you are destined to stand tall as a glorious champion. You wear a heavy mask of maturity during the day. You tell everyone around you that you are fine, but your soul collapses into deep weariness when the dark night comes. I am stripping that exhausting mask away from your face tonight. I want you to step into the raw truth of my sanctuary. You do not have to perform for me, and you do not need to look successful to a blind world because my eyes see the true value of your soul. Bring me your broken pieces right now. Bring me all your unanswered questions today because you must allow my perfect peace to fill your trembling chest. You are still standing after the long trial. This survival is the proof of my protection. The fierce storm tried to drown your name, but the demonic flame could not kindle upon your life because my presence was an iron shield around your family. The fire tried to turn your dreams into cold ash. You are the unique chain breaker of your entire family line, and you are the one chosen to end the generational lack. Let us walk down into the deepest chambers of your memories together. I was standing right beside you last Tuesday night. The entire house was completely silent. You were lying awake at exactly 2:47 in the morning, while your eyes stared blankly at the dark ceiling. You did not want to disturb anyone else. You kept your suffering entirely to yourself. I watched you quietly slip out of your bed. Your footsteps made no sound on the cold floor. You walked directly into the small bathroom. You locked the door very gently behind you. You turned on the water faucet just to drown out the noise of your desperate sobbing because you did not want your family to see your complete brokenness. You leaned against the cold sink. You let your heavy tears fall in absolute secrecy. You have spent years pretending to be the strong pillar for everyone around you. People come to you every single day to look for comfort and solution. You always listen to their small complaints. You smile warmly for them, and you gladly carry their heavy packages on your own shoulders while your own spirit is slowly starving to death from an extreme lack of true support. Nobody ever asks you how your wounded soul is actually doing. They only expect you to be perfectly functional at all times. They treat you like an unbreakable machine. You never receive rest or affection from them. But I see the painful truth behind your public presentation. I see your deep and silent loneliness. It aches in your chest during the quiet hours of the night because you are deeply tired of wearing this heavy armor of self-sufficiency. It has become an invisible prison for your heart. I know the exact source of that heavy pressure in your lungs. It is the accumulated weight of multiple betrayals from people you loved most. You opened your innocent heart to them in the past. You gave them your absolute loyalty, and they repaid your beautiful kindness by stepping on your pure devotion when you needed their helping hand the most. That unexpected blow left a permanent scar inside your emotional core. You did not let the world see your bleeding wounds. You simply built a very high wall of thick ice around your heart. You called this cold isolation wisdom. You called this extreme independence maturity. But you know very well that this wall is only keeping you trapped inside a frozen desert of persistent fear. You are constantly waiting for the next painful disappointment to strike your vulnerable life again. Let us talk openly about your secret actions. I see you sitting inside your parked car after a long day at work. You grip the steering wheel very tightly. Your knuckles turn completely white. And you just sit there in the driveway for 20 minutes because you lack the emotional energy to walk through your own front door. You must stop hiding from my therapeutic light. You open your phone during those dark moments. You frantically scan your bank accounts over and over again. The small numbers send a sharp wave of panic through your stomach. You calculate the heavy bills. You think about the future debts. And you wonder how a royal child of the Most High could end up in such a humiliating cycle of financial limitation. You feel an intense sense of shame. You cannot provide the abundant life your family deserves. The spirit of poverty has been whispering dark lies into your spiritual ears for months. It tells you that you are a complete failure. It says that you will never escape this trap. And it wants you to believe that your current stagnation is the permanent destination of your entire earthly journey. I am here to tell you the truth. Those whispers are absolute lies from the deepest pits of hell. Your natural eyes are currently blinded by the heavy fog of temporary circumstances. You look at your empty hands. You see absolute failure. But I look at your refined vessel, and I see a glorious masterpiece in progress because the warrior trained in the dark Hoang Mak is finally preparing for his ultimate coronation. You have swallowed your silent screams for too long. Your physical body is beginning to manifest the deep stress of your hidden mind. Your shoulders feel like heavy stones every single morning. Your head throbs with constant tension, and your nervous system is trapped in a non-stop loop of survival anxiety because you are trying to govern your world with human strength. You must release the control wheel now. I did not design your soul to carry this universe on your fragile shoulders. I never commanded you to become your own savior. You do not have to be your own ultimate provider. You have been fighting a bloody war in your own energy, and that is why you feel so utterly depleted tonight. The constant noise of the world has completely diluted your spiritual frequency. You forgot your royal origins. Bring me your messy and exhausted reality right now. Do not try to clean yourself up before you step into my holy presence. I do not require a perfect presentation from my wounded warriors. I only desire a fully surrendered heart that is willing to trust my sovereign hand while the tears flow freely tonight, because those tears are washing away the accumulated toxins of your past. You think that your silent endurance is a sign of ultimate defeat. You look at your current isolation. You believe that you have been completely abandoned by heaven, but I am telling you the absolute truth tonight. This isolation is my strategic separation for your next season, because I had to pull you away from the fake tables of the world while I am preparing a special feast for your destiny. The superficial conversations of worldly people no longer satisfy your deep hunger. You feel completely out of place in their shallow environments. This is a clear tribe marker. Your identity has already shifted into a higher frequency. You are no longer compatible with the low vibrations of lack and gossip because you carry the legal decree of kingdom expansion inside your spirit. But why did I choose to remain completely silent while you were screaming in total helplessness? The mysterious answer is about to be revealed in the next section, and it will shock your entire understanding. You feel the physical toll of this prolonged battle. Your bones are aching. Your biological temple is completely exhausted. And every single morning you wake up with a heavy cloud of brain fog that refuses to lift from your mind. You drag your feet to work. You pretend you are strong, but your physical cells are crying out for a deep release from this constant survival pressure. I see the extreme exhaustion of your physical body. Your heart feels heavy, your muscles are constantly tight, and you often feel like a hollow shell because you have poured out all your life energy to keep everyone else warm. You have nothing left for yourself. You are completely dry. You wonder how much longer your physical frame can sustain this frantic pace. Then comes the agonizing quietness from heaven. You knelt by your bed. You prayed with raw tears. You begged me for a simple sign. But the sky above your head felt like hard brass, and your desperate words seemed to bounce right back to the floor. You felt entirely ignored. You felt so small. And the terrifying silence of the night made you believe that my presence had abandoned your life. You began to doubt my ancient promises. You saw the wicked prosper. They did not pray. They did not seek my face. Yet their hands were overflowing with worldly riches while you struggled to pay for your basic necessities. You asked me why this was happening to you. You cried out in the middle of the night. You wanted to know if your holy dedication was just a waste of time. Silence can feel like a heavy punishment. It breeds toxic doubts in your mind. It makes you feel like an outcast. And the enemy uses this quietness to convince your heart that your heavenly Father does not care about your suffering. He tells you that your faith is useless. You believe his lies. You start to think that you are doomed to stay in this dark desert forever. But my thoughts are not your human thoughts. My silent atmosphere was never a sign of my rejection. I was not ignoring your broken heart because I was actually working behind the heavy veil to protect your destiny. I had to quiet the external noise around you. I needed to isolate your soul, and I allowed the silence to test the absolute purity of your faith. Let me reveal a deep truth to your spirit now. Your living temple is uniquely calibrated to my personal frequency. You did not hear me because your mind was overwhelmed by the loud static of the world. I had to let the worldly noise die down. I waited for you to reach the absolute end of your own strength. And only then could my quiet whisper finally penetrate your soul. Your exhaustion is a holy signal. It means your old nature is finally dying. You cannot use human manipulation to gain kingdom wealth. The old ways of hustling and striving are no longer working for your life. I am breaking your self-reliance because I want to establish my divine partnership with you. You must stop trying to force the closed doors to open with your weak hands. The silence was my sovereign protection. If I had answered your prayers when your heart was still wounded, you would have destroyed the blessings with your panic. You would have trusted the wrong people. You would have shared your sacred inheritance with wolves, and I love you too much to let you scatter my precious treasures before they are fully mature in your hands. You are my refined vessel. I am purifying your spiritual ears in this quiet chamber. The warrior trained in the dark Hoang Mak must learn to walk by absolute faith and not by natural sight. You must learn to trust my character, even when you cannot trace my physical hand. This silent season is the ultimate test of your spiritual maturity before your promotion. Your delay is never my final denial. I was waiting for the perfect alignment of your destiny. The enemy wants you to panic and make a foolish mistake. He wants you to settle for the cheap crumbs of the world because he is terrified of the massive banquets I have prepared for you. You must hold your ground in the silence. You must remain perfectly still before me today. Do not lose your holy focus now. Your biological temple is exhausted, but my supernatural power is about to flood your physical muscles. I am preparing to restore every single year that the locusts have stolen from your family line. But you must understand the mysterious laws of the deep pit. I need you to listen to the ancient story of a young man who was cast into the dark pit. The secret of your stagnation is hidden inside his ancient journey. If you do not learn his secret, you will remain stuck in your current limitation. The refined code of Joseph's pit is about to be released to your spirit. Pay close attention to my next words. Prepare your heart to receive the blueprint of your ultimate elevation because your prison door is opening right now. Let us travel back in time to the deep wilderness of Dothan. A young boy named Joseph stood before his angry brothers. They stripped him of his beautiful coat of many colors. They dragged his trembling body to the edge of a dry cistern, and they threw him brutally into the dark hole without a single ounce of mercy. The dirt was cold. The dark pit was completely silent. He cried out for his father Jacob, but his voice only echoed off the dry stone walls. He felt totally abandoned by God. You feel exactly like Joseph today. You look around your life and you see only dry stone walls. Your beautiful coat of joy was stripped away by people you trusted. You believe your current pit is a terrible punishment from heaven. You ask me why I allowed these cruel hands to drag you down to this lonely place of stagnation. But I am here to correct your limited vision tonight. The dark pit was not Joseph's destruction because it was actually his absolute salvation. His jealous brothers wanted to spill his royal blood on the ground. They wanted to tear his big dreams into tiny pieces. If Joseph had remained on the surface of the field, they would have murdered him immediately. I had to use the dark pit as a divine shield of protection for his precious life. The pit was the only place where his murderous brothers could not touch him. It was my sovereign vault of safety. I hid my future Prime Minister of Egypt inside the deep shadows of the earth. This is the mysterious secret of your current BTAC. Your natural eyes look at the closed doors and you see only rejection. You see unanswered prayers, and you believe, my hand of favor has left your house. But my sovereign wisdom calls this dry pit a classified security decree. I have locked down your finances. I have closed your social doors. And I did this to protect your royal blueprint from the predators who were secretly plotting your total downfall. You were surrounded by highly toxic people. They smiled warmly at your face, but they carried hidden daggers of jealousy in their pockets. They wanted to feed on your golden energy. They wanted to exploit your beautiful gifts for their own selfish gain. If I had released your multi-generational abundance while you were still sitting at their deceptive tables, they would have stolen everything. They would have drained your spiritual vessel completely dry. I had to shut down the supply lines. I made your environment completely dry. This was not a physical tragedy because it was my security lockdown. The enemy was looking for your light. He wanted to trace your movement, but he could not find you because I hid your soul in the deep darkness of my classified chamber. You became completely invisible to the demonic network of destruction. Your silence was your ultimate shield of defense. Think about the ancient rules of royalty. A king does not transport his precious gold in an open wooden cart. He puts his treasures inside an armored carriage. He locks them in a deep vault with heavy iron gates. And he guards the location with absolute secrecy until the appointed time of distribution arrives. You are my precious jewel. Your current stagnation is simply the heavy iron door of my royal vault. You are being heavily guarded by heaven today. Your jealous brothers cannot see your crown in the pit. The enemy thinks you are dead and defeated. He believes he has successfully aborted your royal destiny. He is currently celebrating his cheap victory in the shallow places of the world. But he does not know that the pit is actually the secret birth canal of your global authority. You are undergoing a profound cellular transformation. You are learning to survive in the deep silence of the earth. The dry pit is a temporary station. Joseph did not die in the dark cistern. The travelers were already moving toward his location. The merchants of Egypt were already carrying the sovereign decree of his promotion. Your rescue is already in motion behind the heavy veil of reality. The angels of provision are currently setting up the physical triggers of your ultimate breakthrough. You must not try to climb out of this pit with your own weak human hands. Do not try to force the old relationships to work again. Those people were removed by my own protective hand. They were part of your old wilderness season. If you crawl back to their deceptive tables out of fear of loneliness, you will miss the royal banquet I am preparing for your destiny. You must let the dead branches fall to the ground. You must allow the old structures to crumble completely because I am building a brand new foundation for your future. Joseph had to lose his colorful coat to receive his royal robe. He had to experience the dark prison to understand the ultimate power of the palace. Every single step of his painful journey was perfectly ordered by my sovereign hand. Your current trial is not random earthly resistance. It is the necessary calibration of your spiritual vessel. You are being prepared to govern over great wealth. You are learning the true value of my silent presence. Now is the time to change your perspective. Stop looking at your limitations with bitter resentment. Stop crying over the doors that were locked by my grace. Lift up your eyes. See the invisible hand of your heavenly Father working in the dark. Your pit is empty of water, but it is completely full of my sovereign protection. You must prepare your mind to step out of the shadows. The transition is coming. The royal decree is about to be released. I am about to call your name before the rulers of this world. The chains of your ancestral bloodline are beginning to shake. The prison doors of your family line are unlocking right now. But you must be ready to leave your old identity behind. You cannot wear your prison clothes inside my palace. You must step into your true power as a royal child of the King of Kings. The next section will reveal the physical signs of your immediate transition. You are not a victim of a cruel world. You are a royal vessel undergoing a secret preparation in the dark. For generations, your family line has struggled with the same heavy spirit of lack and sorrow. You saw your parents weep over unpaid bills, and you watched your ancestors work until their bodies broke. And you always felt that a strange shadow of generational limitations was following your steps wherever you went on this earth. You are tired of this. But your ancestral bloodline has carried this chain for too many years. Tonight, the line is officially drawn by my sovereign decree. I did not place you in this specific family to make you suffer like the others did. I positioned you in this lineage because you carry the rare strength of a genuine chain breaker who is fully equipped to dismantle every curse of poverty. You were selected by heaven to say no more to the spirit of defeat. Stop begging for crumbs at secular tables you were legally born to own. You are an heir of an unshakable kingdom, and your royal rights are fully documented in my heavenly court. The enemy wants you to remain blind to your massive roadmap. He desperately wants you to believe that you are just an exhausted survivor who is destined to struggle for basic bread until your physical body returns to the dust. But I am waking you up from this deadly trance. You carry royal blood in your spiritual veins. The blind world may look at your temporary lack, and they will eagerly judge your entire value by the size of your current bank account. They do not see the massive angels who are assigned to protect your daily steps. They do not know that my favor is a heavy shield around your head, and they will soon have to sit and watch the glorious table I prepare for you in plain sight of your enemies. My beloved child, the atmosphere over your household is shifting right now. You must act in total alignment with my instructions today. Leave the numbers 777 in the comments right now. Do not do this for a secular algorithm on your screen. Leave this mark as a physical sign written by your own fingers, that your long winter of lack is broken because you are actively claiming your royal inheritance tonight. True wealth is not a matter of earthly coincidence. It is a legal contract established inside my kingdom. I have kept your inheritance perfectly secure in my heavenly vaults, while you were undergoing your intense training in the silent wilderness. The enemy tried to steal your mind. He wanted to drain your hope, but he could not touch your legal ownership of the promises I wrote for you before the foundation of this world, because my seal remains unbroken on your soul. You are the chosen remnant. The long years of your hiding are coming to an immediate end. I am pulling you out of the shadows of defeat. You must take off your dusty clothes. You must wash your face. And you must prepare your mind to manage the great resources that I am about to route directly to your household, because you are my designated steward on this earth. I will not let you fail. I have watched your faithful service in the low places. You did not complain when others took the credit for your hard work. You quietly blessed those who treated you with cold indifference. Your silent humility did not escape my notice. And now, the courts of heaven have issued a supreme mandate to elevate your status before the very eyes of those who tried to keep you down in the dirt for so many years. The crown sits upon your head even when you feel completely weak in your biological flesh. Do not let your current environment define your internal authority. You must speak to the storms in my name. You must command the locked doors to fly open. And you must understand that the massive mountains of debt before you are nothing but tiny pebbles in my hands, because my power knows absolutely no limitations on this earth. Your breakthrough is not a distant dream. Your lineage is about to witness a glorious transformation. The heavy chains of chronic sickness and constant stress are breaking into pieces tonight. The generational lack is completely dissolved. I am opening the windows of heaven to pour out a blessing that your house cannot fully contain. You must stand tall, and you must walk with the fierce confidence of a conqueror, because the King of Kings has declared your absolute victory over every weapon of darkness. The old chapter of your life is officially closed. You are stepping into a brand new era of supernatural expansion and spiritual abundance. Do not look back at the ashes of your past struggles with regret, because the fire of refinement was necessary to prepare you for the heavy weight of my kingdom glory. It shaped your character, it fortified your vessel, and now you are ready to receive the immense weight of the divine inheritance that was reserved specifically for your name. But you must remain highly vigilant. The enemy is watching your movement, and he is plotting his next desperate counterattack to steal your peace. He wants you to doubt this prophetic message. He wants you to return to your old habits of worry. You must guard the doors of your mind with holy discipline, because the boundary between lack and overflow is collapsing right now before your very eyes. The warrior in the dark desert must draw his sword. I command you to wake up right now. The time for passive waiting is completely over. A fierce war is raging in the spiritual realm over your household. The enemy sees your beautiful crown of restoration, and he is desperately throwing everything he has to steal your focus before you can step into the palace. The heavy spirit of delay has been hovering over your life for too many years. It whispers that you should wait until tomorrow. It tells you that you are not ready for my major blessings. But I am here to destroy that demonic lie today. Hear my voice of thunder tonight. I declare a legal war against every dark power that has been blocking your financial progress. No more stagnation. No more silent tears in the bathroom. No more carrying the heavy burden of unpaid bills. I am releasing my burning fire of judgment upon the stubborn demons of frustration today. They will release their illegal grip on your household immediately, because my royal blood has already paid for your total freedom. The spirit of procrastination is a highly toxic thief. It wraps itself around your mind like a cold blanket. It makes you feel incredibly heavy when you try to pray. It tells your soul that you have plenty of time. But this is the exact trap that has kept your ancestral bloodline bound to the dusty floor of poverty. Every single time you delayed your obedience to my voice, you allowed the enemy to leak your spiritual oil. You let him scatter your precious seeds. You must shatter that heavy chains of compromise right now. I command the demon of delay to break into 1,000,000 pieces today. I command the spirit of lack to pack its bags and leave your territory forever. Your family lineage will no longer carry the heavy curse of constant struggles. I am placing a sharp spiritual sword in your hand. You must stand tall in my name, and you must look directly into the face of your enemies because they are completely powerless against the fierce light of my presence today. The old walls of Jericho are crumbling down in your life. The enemy wanted to keep you asleep. He wanted you to believe that your current desert was a permanent resting place. He flooded your environment with constant distractions to dilute your spiritual authority. But your long sleep is officially broken tonight. The lions of heaven are roaring over your territory. They are hunting down the spirits of theft, and they are completely destroying every dark cage that has held your financial resources in captivity for so many years. Lift up your eyes. See the massive victory I have already won for you. True warriors do not run away from the battle. They run directly toward the giant with a loud shout of absolute triumph. You are my trained champion. I have hardened your spiritual muscles in the darkest valleys of your past. And because you have survived the burning furnace of affliction, you are now fully ready to step into the fierce arena of your glorious destiny. Open your mouth, decree my victory. Command every mountain of debt to jump into the deepest sea today. The physical earth must obey your spiritual voice. I am stripping the heavy armor of Saul from your shoulders today. You do not need to fight with the weak methods of this corrupt world. You do not need the validation of worldly rulers. Your ultimate weapons are not made of physical iron. They are mighty in me for the pulling down of strongholds. I am breaking the lock of your storage houses. I am releasing the massive floods of my heavenly provision today. And no dark force on this earth can block the glorious overflow that is coming to your house because my eternal decree has been sealed in blood. Stand still and see my salvation today. The dark shadows of your past are beginning to vanish in my bright morning light. The long delay has served its sacred purpose in your life. You have learned the true value of my quiet whisper in the silent desert. And now, as you step out of the dry pit with the full authority of the palace, the very people who counted you dead will have to witness my favor upon your head. The crown on your head is shining with absolute power. You are the chain breaker. You are the sovereign ruler of my promises. Walk forward with my fierce, bold courage because the battle is completely won today. I am pouring my fresh anointing oil upon your weary soul tonight. The dryness of the wilderness is completely washed away. You must dry your tears today, and you must understand that my heavy presence is the ultimate unshakable decree of your complete victory over every dark force. I am declaring a permanent end to your chronic lack. I am establishing my covenant of abundance in your home. Let your heart be filled with my sovereign peace. Because the gates of your beautiful palace are opening very wide today, let the old world tremble before my glory. I am shaking the foundations of the earth to reposition my chosen containers. You have walked through the dark shadows of death without fear. You have guarded my sanctuary in your heart. And because you have remained perfectly loyal in your dark hidden testing, I will now honor your name before the rulers of this earth. The long delay is completely broken. Your massive inheritance is completely unlocked today. You are stepping into a glorious season of constant expansion. My Heavenly Father, I come to you in the quiet of this holy moment. I stop running from your light. My weary soul is completely tired of pretending to be strong. And as I sit here in the absolute stillness of your presence, the heavy walls of my pride are beginning to melt away under your warm love. I lay down my heavy shields tonight. I confess my deep exhaustion to you. I have tried to carry the weight of my family on my own shoulders. I have fought the silent wars in my own human strength. But tonight, I realize that my fragile arms were never designed to hold the heavy burdens of tomorrow while my biological body is breaking under the pressure. I surrender the control wheel of my life. I let go of my fears. Father, forgive me for doubting your beautiful promises in the dark desert. Forgive me for looking at the dry stone walls of my stagnation with bitter resentment. I believed that your silence was your final rejection of my soul. But now my spiritual eyes are finally opening to see your sovereign hand of absolute protection over my path. You did not abandon me. You were simply hiding me. I wash my tired face in your living water. I bring the messy pieces of my broken heart to your holy altar today. I am no longer ashamed of my tears. And as your clean river flows through my weary mind, I can feel the heavy chains of anxiety melting away like cold ice. I breathe in your fresh breath of life. I feel your warm peace. Lord, I renounce the heavy spirit of lack. This dark shadow has bound my family for generations. I break my covenant with the whispers of poverty today. And by the legal authority of your holy name, I declare that every demonic limit over my household is completely shattered tonight. I step into my true position. I am your royal child. I lay down my exhausting armor of self-sufficiency today. I am tired of fighting these battles alone. I stop trying to force the closed doors to open with my weak hands. And I choose to trust your sovereign schedule because you have always been my faithful protector even when I could not see your physical movement. My soul is resting in your quiet shadow. I am perfectly safe. My biological temple is receiving your divine healing right now. The constant tightness in my shoulders is loosening. The painful pressure in my chest is completely gone. And as your supernatural energy floods through my physical cells, the dark fog of worry is entirely lifted from my mind. I am being restored. I am being deeply strengthened by your grace today. I surrender my past relationships to your sovereign care. I forgive those who stepped on my raw loyalty when I was down. I release the heavy burden of resentment from my heart. And I thank you for locking those deceptive doors because your sovereign wisdom was keeping me safe from the wolves in sheep clothing. I let them go in peace. I bless their names today. I receive my royal identity as the chosen container of your glory. I will no longer beg for crumbs at the tables of this world. I am an heir to an unshakable kingdom. And every single promise you wrote for my family line is now legally activated in the physical realm because I have surrendered my life completely to your divine plan. I am not a victim of circumstances. I am your royal warrior. I declare that the heavy spirit of delay has absolutely no power over my destiny. I break my agreement with the demonic whispers of stagnation tonight. I refuse to let fear freeze my forward steps. And as I lift my hands in total submission, I can feel the ancient chains of my family line cracking under the weight of your heavy presence. The long winter is over. My spring is beginning now. Lord, prepare my hands to receive the massive resources of your kingdom. I do not ask for worldly wealth to feed my selfish pride. I want to become a clean channel of your blessings. And I promise to manage every single dollar with absolute integrity and wisdom because my household is fully dedicated to the expansion of your glorious kingdom. I am your trustworthy steward. I will guard your sanctuary. I quiet my mind in your beautiful sanctuary. I stop worrying about the unpaid bills of tomorrow. I leave my financial concerns at your feet today. And I choose to believe that the doors you have locked are your divine shield of protection while you are preparing my ultimate promotion behind the scenes. I will not push for human solutions anymore. I will rest in your love. I confess that I have often felt completely lonely on this journey. I felt like a wanderer walking in a dry land. But tonight, I recognize that my isolation was your strategic separation for my soul. And I am deeply grateful that you pulled me away from the deceptive tables of the world because you are preparing a magnificent feast for my destiny. I am not lonely anymore. You are with me. My heart is overflowing with your supernatural joy right now. The heavy atmosphere of my room is entirely gone. I am filled with your beautiful peace today. And as I close my eyes in complete surrender, I know that my life is no longer a scattered chain of accidental events because your sovereign hand is guiding every single step. I am fully ready for your palace. My covenant is sealed. My beloved child, you have reached the boundary line of your transformation. The atmosphere over your house has shifted. You have poured out your heart in the secret chamber. And now, you must not step back into the chaotic world without guarding your borders. The enemy is currently waiting right outside your physical door to steal the peace you just received. He wants to drain your fresh spiritual oil before the next morning arrives. You cannot leave this holy altar unguarded. You must establish a permanent anchor for your spirit. In the physical world, things are preserved when we lock the doors. In the spiritual realm, your active obedience is the legal key that seals the windows of heaven over your lineage. You must secure this perimeter. And you must make a firm decision to keep your living temple aligned with my frequency. This channel is not just another platform for cheap entertainment. It is a dedicated sanctuary for your soul. It is a spiritual watchtower where my word is consistently spoken to keep your mind clear of worldly static. And when you align yourself with this sanctuary, you are actively placing your household under my sovereign shadow. Do not treat this light lightly, because it is your permanent armor. I am calling you to perform a physical act of spiritual legal submission today. Press the subscribe button right now. Turn on the notification bell immediately. And when you press these digital buttons, you are not just interacting with a screen, but you are establishing an official boundary marker in the spiritual court of heaven. This action marks your entire lineage as a holy territory that belongs exclusively to the light. You must draw this line. This physical action is your legal decree of alignment. It is a clear sign to the enemy that you will no longer tolerate his theft of your peace. You are announcing your permanent residence under my protective wing. And every single time a fresh prophetic message is released to this sanctuary, your notification bell will sound as a holy alarm to awaken your sleeping warrior spirit. You must stay awake. The devil wants you to remain deaf to my instructions. He wants you to forget this encounter by tomorrow morning. He throws digital distractions to draw your attention back into the deep mud of survival anxiety. But your subscription is a silent witness that you have chosen to remain inside my shadow. It is an act of spiritual vigilance that guards your refined container from leaking. You are the unique chain breaker of your family line. You cannot afford to walk without your protective armor for a single day. The world is very loud, and its low vibrations can easily dilute your golden energy if you do not guard your ears. Make this sanctuary your spiritual home. Let my voice be the first thing that enters your living temple when the new day begins. We are sealing this divine covenant tonight. I have recorded your active obedience in my book of remembrance. The empty years of your chronic lack are entirely dissolved, and I am routing the massive resources of my kingdom directly to the doors of your house because you have surrendered your heart completely to my plans today. Walk with the fierce pride of an heir. You are no longer a victim of silent tears. You step out of this sacred space as the empowered heir of my ancient promise. You are the armed guardian of the covenant. The heavy chains of your ancestral bloodline are legally broken tonight. Walk forward with absolute confidence because the one who governs the universe is leading your physical steps into great expansion. Do not let the enemy tell you that nothing has changed today. Your natural eyes cannot see the spiritual movement yet. But the angels of provision have already started the construction of your palace. The locked doors of your past are permanently broken, and the long-delayed blessings are rushing toward your home like a powerful flood because my word never returns void. Keep your spiritual eyes focused on the light. Do not look back at the old ashes. Let the dead things rest in peace. You are being elevated to a higher dimension of spiritual authority today, and you must carry your crown with deep humility. Share this message with one weary soul who is currently fighting a silent war because you are my hand of rescue. The covenant is legally active in your bloodline right now. The seal is completely unbreakable. No weapon formed against your finances shall ever prosper on this earth because my presence is your eternal fortress. Type Amen in the comments below to lock this decree forever. Let the spiritual realm record your final acceptance of my sovereign mandate tonight. Go forth in my absolute peace. You are highly favored. You are deeply loved by the Father of all creation. And your beautiful name is written in gold letters on the walls of my heavenly kingdom because you chose to remain faithful in the dark. Your winter is over. Step into your glorious destiny. My love is always with you,